Welcome back to Metal Heroes Review, episode number 7. This is discussing episodes 33 to 36. Now, each of these episodes are standalone episodes. Now, in the case of 35 and 36, these ones are really good. It gets a little more high intensity with these ones. 33, they come with the interesting idea to grow monsters on Earth via eggs, and there's a little bit of a small scale innovation with this one, but this one was actually really fun. Yeah, I like it. I think it was interesting though that they actually had an episode where dogs and cats were threatened, even though that it's not always good, but they're threatened, yes. And of course, one thing I do appreciate though with this episode is that when they show a dog named John when he gets injured, they don't show his injuries. They just show a dog get bandaged up. Yeah, whereas if something bad happens, but they're fine, perfectly fine afterwards. Yeah, this whole thing started because a boy found an egg, which happened to be a doubler egg, which basically they grew via a microwave oven. Well, actually, these one I actually have. It's more like a small oven. Now, I have seen these before. Now, in case you're curious, though, is a type of oven like this, type of microwave oven like this here in the U.S.? Yes. Yes, there is. There is one definitely like this where there's a small version of this. I actually have used. It works similar to a microwave. All you do is pull a door down like you do for an oven. You put the item in. You preheat it, whatever. It acts like a microwave, but also basically it's like an oven per se. But that's normally how you use this thing, and it's very similar to use regular oven, just a small one. Goes like they mentioned about 60. I think it's like 60 meters. I think the way what they were hoping for was basically a giant-sized version of this creature, but nope, that didn't work at all. Yep, and of course they may take hostage. Not really. And also, we see Koji. He gets a lot of screen time in this episode, which I found that be quite interesting. He takes up practically half the episode, which is more than usual. Usually he's on there maybe for 5 minutes, maybe at most. There for like 1, maybe 2 scenes for a few minutes, but that's it. Here he's here for a good chunk of the episode. But I found this episode really enjoyable. In the case of 34, which I watched the episode this morning, 34 is simply, well, the best way to describe this one is focuses on Gavan's boss's grandson. Yes, focus on his grandson, which his grandchildren lost their parents when they were young in an accident. Yes, and this also involves memory wiping, manipulating a jewelry store manager to think he's an agent Moroku, even though he really isn't, just to handle a bunch of jewels. And of course, the guy gets arrested for this, and the police don't bother to investigate that he's not acting the way he normally does. Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. But this was an interesting different episode, though. This was one of like 2 episodes where you have Gavan thrown around by some unknown energy. Actually, it happened a few times where he just pulled around all over the place. It also happens in 36 as well. Now, in the case of 35, meanwhile, this one is kind of like, oh, let's just have Don Horror's son do something on his own. This also was the first and probably going to be the only episode of this whole series where Gavan does not go to Moroku space. Yeah, during the fighting at one point, because sounds of it he's doing his own, so it was requested to go to Moroku space, and of course, and here's the thing, Don Horror's like, nope, he wanted to do this himself. No Moroku space, though he does give her next episode. Yep. But this one I found to be quite interesting of an idea. It's a good character piece for him. We do see that he's very lazy of a general. He's drinking, and he's got a bunch of women near him. He probably is not exactly spoiled per se. He's basically treated as a royal prince. That's mostly put what his kind of role is. He's basically a royal prince who's got sort of a harem and basically watching a doubler fight in front of him. And oh yeah, I'm preparing fighting, and you're drinking. You're basically drinking the job, man. You're not doing your job. You could say is he a playboy? Not necessarily. It's more like a royal prince. Excuse me, though. He is the son of Don Horror, which of course I love it where they have it. The thing that says, "Excuse me, Lord Salgrano, Lord Don Hoare wants to see you. He says, oh, father wants to see me? Okay. Yeah, he basically want like jump high up to see his father, but he would not turn a request because he is technically, aside from Don Hoare being his father, he is also the boss. So, and of course, he's the leader of the Beast Empire, so you can't turn down audience with him. It's similar in vein to happen Empire Strikes Back, where you have an admiral who basically gets informed about a communication from Darth Vader. And of course, basically, where it's like, okay, get clear the asteroid field, and we have a clear signal. So, yeah, that's one thing interesting about that. I think they must have borrowed this from Star Wars because, like, oh, he wants to see me? Okay. And it's similar to, and Vader's kind of similar too, where he was a message to the Emperor in the movies, where he wanted to make sure he have a clear signal, which, yeah, this is a similar circumstance, even though that was a signal, and this is basically in person. I mean, he's not basically jumping the seat just because he kind of acts like Don Hoare's lapdog. No, it's basically him responding to a request that his father wanted to see him. Okay. It's good writing on the part of him. That's just my opinion, anyways. And though he does get defeated, he's coming out empty-handed, but hey, at least he does his frickin' job. He's not lazy about like he was before the episode. In the case of 36, this actually is the first episode to use stock footage. Yes, stock footage. But they do something quite unique with it. They pretty much use the stock footage to form a movie. Yes. I gotta admit, this actually was a really interesting idea because normally the lazy way you use stock footage is like, oh, look at photos, stock footage. Here is simply Gab watching his previous battles, and apparently doesn't like watching his previous battles, which I thought that's interesting. Oh, by the way, this is another episode where he's like flown around and he's strapped in. And eventually he's freed, and it's all about resentment. And he looks like, oh, he's maybe facing previous monsters he faced. Like you see like one or two at most. It's implied a lot of them he basically defeated at this point. But, and of course this one does go to Moroku space, unlike 35. But another really good episode. Nothing really bad about this one. Also, this is the first episode where it's just by Gavan that Maureen, despite being Gavan's assistant, there's no romantic attachment to him at all because Maureen does know that Mimi loves Gavan and Gavan loves Mimi. I highly doubt Gab would cheat on Mimi despite the fact they're not officially a couple yet. So I think Maureen just basically acts like a traditional assistant. So she's not disrupting Gavan and Mimi's relationship, despite the fact she's basically subbing for Mimi while she's off caring for her mother. Which, good on the part of the writers to do it because normally it's like, oh, we have the first woman away, have another beautiful one come in, like, oh, maybe we have to sleep together. Nope, that does not happen. There's no romantic flirting between the two of them. They just basically act like colleagues. Which, okay, that's different. Normally, if you have another person around the series, oh, maybe it's written this woman basically be hitting on him, possibly want to sleep with him. Nope, not necessarily. Gavin is very faithful to Mimi, which gotta give high praise for the actor who plays him. Yeah, and also at this point in time, basically for Space Hero Gavin, I have approximately 8 more episodes left to go for the whole entire series. And fun fact, get some more double or monsters will show up in the series. There are 6 more left. Yes, 6 more. 42 features the last one, and then they don't feature anymore for the next couple episodes because we're basically at that point like built into the finale of this thing, which I'm looking forward to that. Though there is a new character gonna pop up at episode 42. I'm not gonna say who it is. You'll find out when we get to the episode. Okay, so that's episode of you. Next is gonna be Black Clover, then Is It Raw in Trevor Goes Dungeon, One Piece, and then Baruto, and then back to Space Sheriff Gavin. Okay, next video. Bye.